Coming to you live in a world where Jailbreak Weekly is actually weekly. This is Jailbreak Weekly, episode number 32. And I am here today with my co-hosts, Mr. David Burns.
Yes, I got introduced first. First time in a long time.
And Mr. Andy Hoff. What's going on?
Not much. I'm happy to be back. It's been way too long.
Definitely.
Nice. So, I mean, it has been a long time, so we're kind of just going to try to catch up on a lot of the stuff that we missed. So thank you guys for tuning in. And we're sorry that we had such a delay. We had some scheduling conflicts, as we just said before we started here on the live stream. In future, if you guys want to listen to the podcast on the live stream, you can go to our Twitter, follow us at jailbreak or JB_weekly, and we can do that. And then you'll see when we're going live, and you just click the Hangouts link, and you can do the chat and all that good stuff. So we had a busy few weeks. A couple new jailbreaks were released, actually. And unfortunately, none of them were for current versions of iOS on the iPhone, but one of them, released by Pangu, was for iOS 9.1 on the iPhone and iOS devices. So what do you guys think about this?
It definitely took everyone by surprise. You know, I woke up at like 3 a.m. I checked Twitter and I saw that Pangu had updated Pangu9 for 9.1, which, you know, at first when I saw it, I got excited because I thought it might have been for 9.2.1, but
yeah.
No. Basically what happened was there was one kernel exploit that was patched in 9.1, and someone by the name of Loki Hart, another security researcher, actually provided Pangu with a kernel exploit. So basically they just swapped kernel exploits, and the rest of the jailbreak was still intact, and released it. And unfortunately, the kernel exploit was patched in 9.2, so that's why it's only for 9.1. So it was kind of like a last-ditch effort.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're on 9.1, why not? You know, it's good for those people for sure.
So, Andy, did your 9.1, did your Florida Georgia Line Twitter alarm work? That's what I think all of our viewers want to know. So, for those people who don't know, Andy has set it to Twitter to play Florida Georgia Line, This Is How We Roll, and get a text every time that Pangu or Taiji tweets something.
Yes.
Because they usually only tweet when they release jailbreaks. So we've been making fun of him in the group chat over the past few months, ever since he said this. But hey, it actually worked for him.
The funny part is it
woke me
worked.
up.
So you know,
yeah,
I gotta hand it to you. The fact that it worked. I mean,
it's such a happy song, and whenever a jailbreak comes out, I'm so happy. So it just
oh boy,
goes right
here
along.
we go. Yeah. Here we go.
And it woke me up, okay. And unfortunately, it wasn't what I wanted, but at least I was the first one to tweet about it. So I'll take the win.
David, what do you think about this whole thing?
So the first time I actually saw this, I was obviously asleep. I don't actually, I don't have what Andy has, even though I was, thinking about doing something similar where it would alert me, when there is a jailbreak and it would play like a certain sound, whatever. I was thinking about possibly doing that. And I definitely see the value in doing so because Andy it worked for him this time. But the first time I saw this, I woke up, it was like 6:15, 6:20, so it wasn't too long after the jailbreak actually came out because it was still a school day. So thankfully it wasn't too long afterward, it was only a few hours afterward, so I caught it fairly early, I guess. But yeah, it was a few hours after, and I saw it, and I almost kind of got excited because I thought it was for 9.2 or 9.2.1, but I saw 9.1, and I was like, that's interesting. And then when I saw that, it was basically they swapped exploits, and the jailbreak was basically the same, I thought, okay, well, that makes sense. And then, when I saw that users were actually reporting the fact that there were boot loop issues, it made even more sense to me because I recalled the original KPP error that everybody was getting where everybody's devices were boot looping back when Pangu9 first dropped, and, I remembered that. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why. I understand, this whole thing, why they swapped exploits. This must be the result of that. So, that's basically my experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different reason for the boot loop. I believe it's a completely separate bug. It's not the kernel patch protection. Basically what it is because iOS 9.1 is no longer signed. It's an older firmware. It's very difficult for Pangu to adequately test their jailbreak for stability. So, I mean, you got to understand that it's very difficult, especially, again, it's an outdated firmware that's from, I believe, November or October, so
yeah,
it's hard for them to test all this
Well,
stuff,
and the problem is that the signing window is closed, so then you have to deal with
So
all
if,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you
Well,
brick a
yeah.
device or whatever, you can't go and
Then you're,
downgrade, right?
yeah,
Because the signing
yeah.
window is closed. But have they released a fix for this, or have they just
Yeah.
kind of left? Oh, they released a fix. Okay, well
Yeah, well,
then,
they just released a few updates to the antenna
yeah.
to kind of
Well
fix
then,
things
I
up,
mean,
yeah.
if they've released a fix, then it doesn't really matter too much. But Pangu has had a busy week for sure because they also just announced an Apple TV jailbreak, and this is big news. I think that this is has been very understated in the media of the community, and I think that this is something that is quite a big landmark
Agreed.
for the Apple TV, especially because with this new revamp that they did, like they're using a lot different like versions of iOS and stuff than the old Apple TVs used to use and stuff. So I don't know. I think that this is a very big step forward in terms of jailbreaking stuff that isn't iPhones necessarily.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And it's very interesting to see how this all plays out as well because the Apple TV third generation actually never got jailbroken. So now
Yeah.
we're on the Apple TV fourth generation, and everybody, as soon as that came out, was like, is there going to be a jailbreak? Is there going to be a jailbreak? Well, because tvOS is so different from the previous, whatever was on, the Apple TV previously and, previous versions.
Yeah, no,
because
they
it's
did.
so different. It's gonna be, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. And
Yeah,
also,
no, they did like a complete
yeah,
revamp. Hey, like
yeah,
big time revamp for sure.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, tvOS is based on iOS,
yeah.
so
I
the
was
reason that
just
this
gonna
jailbreak...
say, yeah,
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
David.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, it's based on iOS, so it kind of goes hand in hand with the, with the new jailbreak that got released for 9.1 by Pangu.
Yeah, yeah, which is
Exactly,
good.
like-
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always
like,
good.
Technologically speaking, 9.1 and tvOS 9.0.1 and below are the same. So those same exploits apply to both. And then that's another downside to this jailbreak. Unfortunately, the latest tvOS version is 9.2, and of course 9.1 as well. And this jailbreak doesn't work on those versions. So, and tvOS 9.0.x is pretty outdated, so
Right.
it might be pretty difficult to get your hands on an Apple TV that you could jailbreak, but the good news is mini Apple TVs that if you go into an Apple store, Best Buy or whatever, and buy an Apple TV, you can check with the serial number. There's a specific trick. We'll drop it in the show notes, but
Right.
it should be pretty easy to get your hands on it. But chances are you're not going to buy a new Apple TV just to jailbreak.
Right. What's interesting with that as well is I also saw, I don't know how apparent it is, I don't know how many people are getting it, but I also saw too that there are issues with, I don't know if it's boot looping or issues with it powering up or whatever, but I've seen the Apple TV jailbreak has its fair amount of issues as well. And I mean, it's just to preface over that, the jailbreak really, even though we're saying, this is a huge step in just everything, the status of the jailbreak right now, there's no Cydia, there's no package installer.
Yeah.
The only thing that will tell you if it's jailbroken, the only way you can know if it's jailbroken versus not jailbroken is the fact that you have that little Pangu. And it's actually kind of funny because before the jailbreak came out, I think, Andy, you sent me a screenshot of there was like an Apple TV that was jailbroken and it showed, there was like a little Pangu app. And it's pretty much almost to the T of what you showed me. It's pretty much, that's pretty much what it is. It installs an app on the Apple TV, you launch it, and it'll jailbreak it for you.
Yeah.
But that's really the only trail that it leads behind because there's no Cydia or anything else. You can get root access, but other than that, there's not much you can do at this point.
Well, at this point, but I think that nitoTV is working on something to fix that, from what I've
Definitely.
heard.
Yeah. I believe he's working on porting this a Cydia interface to the Apple TV. I'm not sure if that's exactly what's going on, but from what I've seen on Twitter, that seems like what he's working on. And he's a very credible developer in the Apple TV jailbreak scene. So I think soon
yeah,
the
for
Apple
sure.
TV jailbreak will definitely have use and have a kind of a GUI for average users. So
Yeah,
if
I
you have a
mean,
jailbroken Apple
tvOS
TV,
is just so new, right? Like that.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you have a jailbroken Apple TV, I think just hang on to it because it'll definitely be useful in the future.
Yeah.
And it's a whole other thing for the jailbreak community to get into, so I'm pumped for it, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't announce a new Apple TV, but they did announce a whole bunch of stuff at Apple's recent event held on Monday, and of course you guys did the live stream, so most of our listeners probably know what already happened in that event. But just to recap, they released a new iPhone SE and a new 9.7-inch iPad Pro. What do you guys think of this stuff? Like, are you guys going to be picking up an SE or an iPad Pro? I know personally for me, I didn't pre-order either of them, and I don't plan on doing so. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I pre-ordered an iPhone SE, 16 gig, just to try it out. I'm probably not going to hold on to this thing for a while. I just want to compare it to the 5S, kind of see what the differences are, because of course it has the internals of the 6S. So I'm just eager to test out just kind of where Apple's headed with the 4-inch device. I'm definitely not going to use this as my daily device or anything, but I just want to kind of get a feel for it. What about you, David?
Although I would like to say that's what I'm doing, I did not go with the with pre-ordering the SE, mainly because I was stuck in Miami for a bunch of it. I was basically so.
Oh, poor you, stuck in Miami. I feel so bad for you.
No, well, I was just gonna say, if you didn't know, I was actually on vacation in Miami. And speaking of which, I'm not going to say that. But, okay, anyway, I just got, for some reason, my mom just tagged me in a picture at the Miami where we were staying.
David, you have been tagged.
No, I'm just saying, I thought it was weird how, like, coincidental that was. But anyway, So, I was in Miami for spring break, and during the Apple event, I was kind of stuck in my hotel, using hotel Wi-Fi, which is not good.
And the 80-degree weather on your balcony.
Yeah. No, I mean,
David, none of us feel bad for you. That's what we're trying to say. Like,
no, okay. The hotel Wi-Fi. I'm trying to make it sound bad, but it's not. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
I had a good time in Miami. It sucks that I'm home, but the Wi-Fi is better here. I'll say that. But the
did you
climate is
meet
better
a drag racing Justin Bieber when you were in Miami?
No, I did not. But I did actually meet Floyd Mayweather, which was pretty nice. That was pretty cool.
What? That's crazy. Oh, yeah,
That's
I remember you told us about this. Maybe we could tell this at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'll save that for the end.
That's a great plug to stick to the end of the show.
Yeah. Once
Stay to the end of the show if you guys want to hear a story about how I met Floyd
David
Mayweather.
met Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, so, I mean, but going back to the whole Apple event thing, I don't know, like, I like where the SE is headed. It's just, I don't know, like, they didn't include 3D Touch, and the Touch ID sensor is slower, which is, like, for me, a real deal breaker, because it's not the upgraded Touch ID sensor that the 6S and 6S Plus get. Right. And that's one of my favorite things about this 6S is how fast the Touch ID sensor is. So, like, for me, that's a big deal breaker. And then 3D Touch, I just think down the line, like, if you want to make this phone future-proof, I'm sorry, but with 3D Touch not being on that phone, it's not a very future-proof device. Now, that being said, I really do like that they put this stuff in a 4-inch form factor. I think that's awesome. Right. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything to say about the 9.7-inch iPad. I mean, it's an iPad Pro that's 9.7 inches. Like, okay.
Well, what's interesting, I think, the most about the 9.7-inch iPad is the True Tone display. That's probably the best feature about it, is that I'm thinking this is the way it works, right, is that it'll dynamically change the temperature of the screen and the brightness of the screen depending on where exactly you are, like outside, like if it's ambient light, if it senses, maybe if you're out, like, going with this trend in Miami, if you're out on Miami Beach and you want to, like, I don't know, you want to watch a movie or video or you want to read a book or whatever, then it'll change.
Yes, because
so you can
everyone brings their
the
iPads to the beach.
Well, I mean, some people do. I've seen it before.
Yeah, people do when they're on vacation,
David, are you one of those people who takes pictures with an iPad?
No.
iPad Pro 12.9.
Yes.
Against that.
Lanyard, fanny pack.
Yes.
I'm totally
yeah.
completely against that. No. Well, actually, it's funny that you say that because when I didn't have an iPod that was really, like, because I had the iPod 4th generation before I had the 6th generation. So in order to record my videos, because I needed something to record. I usually use my iPad mini because it had like a little
David.
It had like one of those cases.
David, you're digging a hole for yourself right now.
No, I'm just
saying.
You
may want to stop.
I don't do it anymore. I used to.
You may want to stop and think what you're saying right now, David.
No, I don't do it anymore. Thank God I don't do it anymore. Now I have a
He's quit.
device that I can actually use.
He's clean.
Yeah.
Well, does it count as having a device you can use if there's no jailbreak for it, though?
Yeah, good point.
Well,
I want a
no. Well,
jailbreak.
you know what? So 9.3 is out now, and according to Ian MTW in this interview that he did, the
jeez.
ETAs before the signing window for 9.2.1 closes. Now, whether he's real or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
The general
And-
consensus in the community seems to be that he's fake at this point. But again,
But there are a lot of people white knighting for him on Reddit. I think that's the underlying thing as well. There are a lot of people white knighting him on Reddit saying, "Oh no, he's real, I've seen it." A lot of people as well that are prominent in the community are saying that they've seen it and they are saying that it's real. There are certain people that are saying that. So we really at this point don't know.
We don't know.
And we're
Yeah.
talking from we haven't seen the
Right.
jailbreak. It's not like he gave us exclusive access when we were not live. We haven't seen the jailbreak. We don't know anything about it. So until we collectively as a group see the jailbreak and see that it's real for ourselves, we can't really judge it.
yeah,
You
and
know,
David,
there has been some conclusive evidence, but again, there's just no way to tell until something is
Yeah.
actually released in our hands.
and
you know?
David, I think you guys were dealing with this a lot over at Jailbreak Busters, correct? You guys had this. There was a lot of talk about this over at Jailbreak Busters. Am I correct in saying that, or
Yeah,
Yeah?
there was.
yeah?
So there was. I mean, there were a lot of. It's crazy the amount of mentions I was getting. After, and it's funny because people still don't know that Jailbreak Busters is me, Jailbreak Weekly is me. Like people,
Yeah.
people go to Jailbreak Busters and they say, "Hey, have you listened to this, Jailbreak Weekly interview? Like,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
conclusive evidence that he's real, or blah blah blah, or I think he's real." And I'm like, guys, I was one of the people that was on the podcast interviewing him. Like that was me talking. So like, yeah, like I was there for that. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't listening live. I was live. I was there.
David was
So-
there for that. Come on, guys. Like,
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we've had to deal with a lot of this stuff with the NTW, and it's tough. It's really tough because he talks big. He comes on our podcast and talks big, and it seems like that he's real. But it's really, really tough in the end to distinguish whether or not he's real. Because, like, we keep saying we haven't seen the jailbreak ourselves. We just don't know. That's
Yeah.
really the answer. We just don't know. And we won't know until he releases something or he comes out and says he's fake or whatever, whatever it may be.
yeah, well, we'll know sooner or later. So, but I mean, look, I mean, whether he's real or not, it was a great interview, and we just want to thank him for coming on the show. Obviously, last episode. But one thing that we didn't really get to do last episode that we want to do this episode is tweaks, because when you're doing an interview, obviously tweaks don't really factor into it too much. But Andy, what do we got for tweaks this week? Or this 3 weeks or 2 weeks or however long it's been since we recorded
Yeah.
an episode, I guess.
Since last episode. What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah, there we go. Okay, that works.
Yeah, there's definitely been some great tweaks released over the past few weeks, for sure. And the first one up is QuickCenter. This one's available for $1. And this tweak brings 3D Touch shortcut menus to Control Center. And this was, I believe it was originally brought to life by a concept. Someone made an iOS 10 concept video.
Yeah,
which basically
yeah.
showed this off. And, this is one of the great things about the jailbreak community. A developer by the name of Creatix, or a development team, decided to bring this tweak to life. So now it exists. Basically, on the control toggles up at the top of Control Center, you could 3D touch on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or Do Not Disturb, and you get various options. Of course, for Wi-Fi, it shows you the Wi-Fi networks around you. For Bluetooth, it shows you the Bluetooth devices around you, and you could toggle Do Not Disturb on and off, etc. You could also open up a quick camera shortcut at the bottom and look at some of your timers, or look at some of your alarms if you 3D touch on the clock shortcut, and you could also have a strobe flashlight option if you 3D touch on the flashlight shortcut. So it just brings that concept to life, and it's just so helpful. It could just really help to stop you from having to open up the settings app frequently. So what do you guys think about this? I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I could see a lot of people using this. Createx has been on fire recently. Like, they've released some pretty prominent tweaks
Definitely.
in the past few weeks here. But yeah, no, this sounds like a great tweak for sure. And I mean, it's only $1, so you can't really fault them for overpricing it because it's only $1. So
Exactly. What about you, David? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I mean, I really like this tweak, but unfortunately, I don't have my main device, my iPhone 6s, jailbroken. I had to, a long time ago, I lost my jailbreak, and since I had to update to iOS 9.2, which obviously at this point is not jailbreakable, at least publicly anyway. So, at this point, I can install on my 6S. So, I would really like to use true 3D touch with it, in order to use this. I don't really want to use, sure, long press, long hold on the screen, and then it'll work. I want actual, real 3D touch to be able to use this tweak, because I think if I use actual real 3D touch with the iPhone 6S, it'll be a real experience. It'll be It's not going to be fake. It's not for example, on the iPod Touch 6th generation, I forget what it's called, but there are just various tweaks that make 3D touch I don't know.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but this tweak actually has that functionality built into the settings for it. So there's an option for fake force touch and tap and hold. So
Right. No, I know, but I'm saying I don't want to have to deal with that type of fakeness. I want the real 3D touch, with the haptic feedback and everything. So I feel like I would my point is I feel like I would appreciate this tweak better if I had my main device jailbroken, so I could test this out for real.
I hear you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I understand that. It is great on the iPhone 6s Plus, which is what I have it on. But again, it's also good on other devices. But yeah, it's true. In order to fully kind of appreciate this and enjoy the additional layer of 3D touch and get the authentic feel, it's best on a 6s. But either way, it's a really great tweak, and it's available for $1. You should definitely go check this out. So next up we have FastShare, and this is another tweak. This one is available for $1.49, and this one basically allows you to set an activator gesture, and then as soon as you set that, you perform that gesture, it's going to give you the option to post to your social media from anywhere. And this is a very nice interface that kind of blurs the rest of the screen out, and in the middle it has the icons. And basically the icons that show up are the messages icon, the Twitter icon, and the Facebook icon, or the Facebook Messenger icon.
I really think that there's a certain someone who helped us found Jailbreak Weekly. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but I believe that there's a certain someone who would really benefit from this tweak.
Really?
Gee, I wonder who that can be.
Yeah, it's really awesome though. It looks like it fits right into iOS. You could, it's just let's say I'm in the YouTube app, for example. I just want to quickly send out a tweet. I could just quickly, get this interface up, tap something, send it off. So it's well designed. It looks like it could belong there, for sure. So what do you guys think about this? Is this something you'd use?
Yes, definitely. It's annoying that you have to go into the Twitter app and go to post and all that crap. And the messages thing is nice too, because and I mean, look, I know Quick Compose has been on a whole bunch of other tweaks in the past. Byte SMS springs to mind, Aki springs to mind, Coria springs to mind, but even Activator, I think, has built-in messages. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is a nice feature, and I'm surprised that this isn't already baked into Activator, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are functions. Technically, this tweak is built into Activator. You could assign just so when you perform a gesture, it'll automatically bring up one of the options. But this basically brings kind of a GUI to the whole thing, and you could choose.
Yeah, but see, you could just make... Okay, so it is built in. So Activator does give you... Well, then, no offense to the developer of this tweak, but it's already possible to do that in Activator because you can make... So it pops up with all three, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It has an X. It has a close button, then it has the message icon.
Oh, see, because
Twitter.
What you can do is you can make custom menus in Activator. So you could make a menu with messages, Twitter, and Facebook, and then set. Let's say if you press both your volume buttons at the same time, it will pop up with that menu of messages, Twitter, Facebook. So is this tweak free or paid? Because if it's paid, then there's no point in paying for the tweak when you can just do this and take 5 minutes to do this in Activator yourself anyway.
Well, the thing is, it's very well designed. So if you're someone who likes aesthetics,
yeah, but
this is definitely
wouldn't you rather save the I don't know. Personally,
Well, I mean, it depends. Like a lot of people jailbreak to theme and to customize and to kind
I
of
don't know.
beautify
Personally,
their
I don't get
devices,
tweaks
you know?
like that where Activator can already do that kind of stuff because it's free and it can
Yeah.
do it anyway. Even if the GUI isn't pretty or like, it doesn't matter. You can do it for free anyway. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I've
again,
never
it
got
just
these tweaks. Like, there was a power down one very similar. I can't remember what it
power
was
down
called.
customizer. Yeah,
It was
power
very
down
similar.
customizer.
Like
Yeah.
I've never got the concept of charging money to do something that Activator can already do natively on its own. See, the problem is that a lot of people don't know how to use Activator to like its full extent. So I think a lot of people don't actually know that you can make these custom menus and stuff like that. But I don't
I
know. I've
know,
just
but like personally, I would prefer this just because I like to beautify stuff. But I mean,
but
again,
would
it's a
you
valid point.
would you be willing to pay $1.99 or $1.49, sorry, for this tweak? Like
Well,
if
I actually did. So
well, okay, but if you knew that Activator could do this already and you just had to take 2 minutes of your time to create a custom menu, would you honestly pay $1.49 for this tweak?
I would. I'm not gonna lie. I would because I like the interface and I like how it looks like it belongs there. Like it's not like a system dialogue that looks like it's hacky. You know, it looks like it's something that's kind of native. You know what I mean? Or yeah, it looks like it belongs.
Well,
Under
don't
bits of the
Activator's
app,
menus
but
look like they're native too? It just pops up with your standard
yeah.
alerts. Like, I don't know. David, what do you think? Help us out here, because me and Andy are kind of
Yeah, I know,
deadlocked
I
on
can see
this.
that. Well, I mean, here's the thing is that I'm very careful and very cautious about what I buy. Like, I look at everything and I say, do I really want to buy this? Because I kind of don't have the option to go out, just randomly buying every single tweak. And a lot of times, if I'm reviewing a tweak, a lot of times I'll actually try to contact the developer to see if I can get a because it's. I mean, look, I don't work really, so it's hard. Money's not that easy to come by. So normally, my parents are kind of helping me out in buying tweaks, and I think that's probably the whole issue surrounding, piracy. I think is the fact that people just pirate tweaks because they simply just can't pay for it.
Yeah,
So
but my point is, David, would you buy this tweak or would you not buy this tweak? Because Activator can do this for free anyway.
to be completely honest, I don't think I would. I think I probably would go with Activator because, I mean, if it was free, it'd be one thing. I probably would do this over, using Activator. Like, if this was free, I would probably say, okay, I'll install this and I'll use this over, making an Activator gesture for it and, setting it up via Activator. But, if it's paid, I don't know necessarily if I would pay all this money when it. I mean, I totally understand what I see both. That's the problem. I see both arguments. I completely understand what Justin's saying about how, well, why would you pay for something that, I mean, Activator's a free tweak. Why would you pay for something that Activator can already do when you already have a free, like, why would you pay money for something that can already be done for free? I think is, and then I also see what Andy's talking about is that, okay, well, I also see the GUI aspect for that and everything. So I don't know.
It's not worth spending $1.49 for something that can be done for free anyway.
I mean, okay, I am definitely gonna use this tweak. For example, I have a custom font installed. I have a pretty wallpaper. I have some theming icons. I have various like customizations. I have a custom carrier logo. So for someone like me who's really into like theming and customizing, this is definitely, I totally see the viewpoint in this. It's like a pretty way to access that social media in a quick manner. But again, I understand from the power user standpoint, maybe that they might not want to use this tweak. So I just think it's to each their own. To whoever who wants to buy this tweak, they could go ahead and do it. To whoever who doesn't, I could see that. So.
Yeah, I just feel like a large segment of the community is getting ripped off because of this charging that kind of money. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it is true kind of what you're saying. Like, the awareness of what Activator could do is often very, like, people don't know.
Yeah,
What
a
Activator
lot
could
of
do all
people
these
just
things.
don't really get it. Like, I don't know. And I mean, like every time I jailbreak, setting up all my activator stuff, because I use activator so deeply and I use a lot of things in activator that people don't even know exist. Like I spend probably 20 to 30 minutes configuring my activator settings when I do a fresh install and jailbreak. Like it's not a short process, but when you actually know all of what activator can do and when you know how truly powerful activator is, which a lot of people quite frankly don't, it's that's why I say I know it sounds cliche, but like activator is literally my favorite tweak because like I would jailbreak just for activator. Like if there was no other tweaks in Cydia except activator, I would jailbreak.
Right, and I completely understand that exactly. And I think I feel like Activated would really benefit from like, maybe a user guide or maybe an in-depth manual or something.
Yeah,
of that sort.
yeah, some documentation. Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard. You know, I'm sure Ryan Patrick, he works extremely hard on this.
Oh,
And then I'm
yeah,
sure
no,
he
he's an
doesn't want to.
unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't want to spend another 8 hours reading some technical explanation of it. So. I don't know. It's true. It's definitely kind of an issue with a lot of these tweaks. You know, these developers are creating these beautified versions of certain processes, and users are just confused and they don't know that Activator could already do it.
That yeah, and see that's my issue is and see when you charge money for it, that's my issue. I don't care if it's free. If it's free, fine. People are making that, it's free, then it gives more choice. But when you're charging for something like that, when Activator can already do it, I hate tweaks that are like that. And I don't mean to call out any developers who make those tweaks, but it's just a reality that you're charging for something that people can get for free anyway.
But then you could also look at it from the perspective of they're charging for their design, for their graphic design work. You know what I mean? And that's what the money is.
They're charging for design, but like, why would you spend time even doing something like this if you can create something new and original that's already hasn't been created and charge for that instead?
Well, I mean, what if they just want this, this one function beautified,
But why would you pay when I don't know. I can't see. I can't I can't see your
just like going back and forth on
Yeah,
this.
no, I don't know. I can't see your viewpoint. Like to me it just doesn't really make all that much sense. Like maybe it's because being visually impaired, like I don't see a lot of the graphics involved in making a tweak, but for me, I can't see the practicality of spending money on something that's already out there and just so it looks more pretty. I don't know. That's
Again, it's a respectable viewpoint, and I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree in this regard.
very true. Very true.
So we just have one more tweak to talk about. So next up we have Preference Tag 3. This is available for $1.99. This is a very interesting tweak. It basically allows you to it adds tons and tons of options to the settings app. It's just there's so many different things to it. Of course, the name being Preference Tag, one of the options is the ability to tag certain portions of the settings app. For example, there's an option that lets you, for example, let's say you wanted to have a submenu with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in there, just two random options. You could create a subgroup, and then you could access that through the settings app. Sorry, what'd you say?
I just said nice. Like I wish, because you can categorize. Like that's the thing I really like about Android versus iOS is like in Android settings you categorize things, and yes, their settings is a lot more messy than Apple's is, and there's no search function, but like there's no categories in Apple. It's just this one big long list, and I don't know. It looks way better to me if there's categories in there. So anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, basically how it works is once you tag them, you could just tap the top of the settings app, and then it'll allow you to select tags. There's like different tag options. There's like red, green, blue. There's different colors. You could also create your own, and then you could tap on that color, and then all the settings sections that you tagged with that color will show up, if that makes any sense. But,
Yeah.
so then there's also a passcode option. This is a huge one. This allows you to lock certain portions of the settings app. This is huge. So let's just say you don't want someone going into your general section, or maybe your I don't know, maybe your Wi-Fi section. You could lock that.
Yeah.
You could also
Now, does that support Touch ID?
Yes, it does.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. It does not support Touch ID.
It does not support Touch ID. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still nice. You know, if you just have like a simple 4-digit passcode, you could.
Yeah, I mean, if it supported Touch ID, that would be a bargain because BioProtect and BioLockdown offer you a passcode option as well. But I mean, you know, the fact that you can categorize and you can set a passcode for 199, this is an absolute steal of a tweak in my opinion.
And there's more too. You could actually completely disable particular options. So when you tap on something, it'll just be completely grayed out, and you won't be able to open it. That's another great feature. So it's just packed with features. There's just so many things. You could also hide certain options so they just don't show up, and you could manually then make them reappear. It's hard to explain this because the interface is kind of confusing. Basically, you open up the settings app, and then you tap a gear icon at the top, that it'll present you with all the options. So if you like what you hear, you could check out the tweak and you'll be able to figure it out. It's just hard to explain how the interface works.
Have either of you guys done a video on that tweak?
I have, as a matter of fact.
I have not.
Okay, we'll have to put the video in the show notes so people can kind of see what's going on, because it kind of sounds like the tweak that you would need to see in action to get a sense of how it is. But from what I'm hearing, this sounds like it's a very, very, very good tweak.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, if you like your settings app, if you like to customize your settings, you gotta check this out. So would you guys use this?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Yes,
Wow.
for sure, sure.
So
I guess
we're
as soon as
all.
the jailbreak comes out, you guys will be using that.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you gonna use this too, Andy?
I do not have it installed anymore. It's not something that I'm going to continue to use.
Ooh, Andy, you ruined it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
all
ruined
three
the
of
good
us were in
vibes.
agreement.
You ruined the. See,
Yeah.
I think that might be like the first time. That would have been like the first time in
First
history.
time we all agreed on something.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you have a podcast. You sit down and you
Conflicting
argue about
opinions.
things for an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Like, I just don't need all this stuff. Like, it's good to have it. It's just I don't really need to because I usually have a Touch ID on my phone anyways. I don't really need security, but
Yeah.
again,
that's
I understand.
Andy, I find this ironic that you're the one who's saying this right now. No, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. There's no such thing as too much
I agree.
security in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. And see, the thing with this is the only thing I wish this tweak would add is Touch ID support, because then it could be like a BioProtect style of tweak, and then
Right.
you have BioProtect / this tag style thing in one tweak. And I mean, when you look at BioProtect is like $2.99. So that's
Maybe if they make it like
a
99
steal.
cents, it'll be like more convincing to actually buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, BioProtect has quite a few options outside of
Yeah, that's true.
outside of just blocking settings and apps and stuff. But I don't know. It'd be nice if you could have this with Touch ID support.
Right.
Yeah.
How much is this right now, Andy?
$1.99.
$1.99. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they drop the one from it and made it 99 cents, then.
But
you know.
wait, you're saying from this preference tags, 3 tweaks?
Yeah. Well, then I'm saying because how? Okay. Let me.
I think it's still worth the $1.99 even without the Touch ID support, though.
Well,
Yeah, I'd
I
have to
think
agree.
it's.
There's
I think
a
it's
lot
worth
of
it.
work
Yeah,
that's put into
I think it's worth it. But how much is BioLockdown or BioProtect?
Okay, so BioLockdowns. Last time I checked, BioLockdown's $1.99 and BioProtect is $2.99. BioProtect is a little more in depth. It has some more options that BioLockdown doesn't. But when you look
I
at what
thought
you're
it was-
getting
yeah.
for $1.99 on this tweak, I from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's totally worth the $1.99 that you're paying for it.
Yeah. No, I just thought like the prices were different. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay. So yeah. So no, that makes sense. Yeah. Definitely.
And Andy, who's the developer of this?
Let me just go ahead and check on that. It's not off the top of my head, but I'll have a look here. Okay, so Gabriele Fibrioni. I'm probably pronounced that wrong. Like, there's a 90% chance I did, so I'm sorry. But we'll drop his Twitter in the show
notes. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta still talk about my Floyd Mayweather. Story.
Oh yeah. How? Okay. So, this is how David met Floyd Mayweather. So take it away, David.
Okay. So basically, if you guys didn't know, I had spring break, and during. Do you want me to tell the story or not?
I'm just being an attentive listener, David.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What happened after that? Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Anyway, basically what happened was I got on, this elevator in my hotel, And this was, I think it was the first day. It was like first day and a day and a half that we were here, and that we were there. And the way the elevator worked was actually kind of different than most elevators that I've been on in various hotels, where in order to actually access guest room floors, you had to actually put in your key in this little slot, and then it would register in, and then you were able to press the whatever button was your floor, whatever. So basically, we were going up to our room, and the door opens, and in walks in Floyd Mayweather with a bunch of other people. He has a girl with him, who's, I think, about 19. I think that's what I read on the internet. You can find out some pretty interesting things. But yeah, so it was definitely him as well, because I checked on his Instagram, and he actually had it was actually pretty cool. It was the day before I actually got there, so I wasn't in the picture. But it was, I don't know what the caption was, but it was some caption, and it was a picture of him in the pool that I actually went to in the resort, because the resort that I stayed at was the resort
That's so crazy.
at. So basically, he walks in the elevator with a bunch of his,
his entourage,
with his entourage. He walks in, and I didn't notice what was going on, because my mom, my dad, and I, the three of us, were trying to figure out how the heck to get this to work. So meanwhile, we're jamming this thing in, we're trying to figure out how to get it to work. And he's looking at us like we're crazy. Everybody else is looking at us like we're crazy, because they've been there for a little while. They know what to do. They know how to actually do this. So we're standing there trying to figure out how to do it. And meanwhile, we figured it out. And after we figured it out, we pushed a button, whatever, and they were getting off. And I noticed he was like sitting there by himself, like listening to beats, listening to music. He was like rocking out. I don't even know what he was doing, but it was pretty surreal. It was crazy, because I was like, oh my god, that is Floyd Mayweather. Like, I knew who it was, and my parents were off doing their own thing, trying to figure out how to get this thing to work, so they didn't really figure it out at that point. So as soon as he left, I was like, oh my god, you know who that is? That was Floyd Mayweather.
That's crazy.
So it was crazy. Crazy experience. But yeah, I kind of met him. I didn't talk to him because I was so starstruck at the time. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that's Floyd Mayweather. I just didn't have any words that were coming out of my mouth. So I wasn't able to, talk to him, because words wouldn't have formulated, and I would have sounded like a complete idiot. So I decided to keep my mouth shut and not to say anything. And I think for the most part it worked, because he didn't think of me as, a stupid person. But anyway, yeah, so that's what ended up happening.
So
that is how I met Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, well.
Long story short. Or extremely long story long, rather.
Extremely long story.
More like short story long, but
short story long. Yes, short story long.
Okay. Well, guys, I think this wraps up this episode. To the live streamers who came on and stuck with us, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll be back next week, hopefully. And I'm really excited to get rolling with recording again. And so feel free to share Jailbreak Weekly with your friends, and we'll try to maintain an active presence on Reddit, on Twitter. So yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for listening. On behalf of David Burns and Andy Hoff, this is the Jailbreak Weekly crew, signing out.
See you guys.